Welcome to the Transformation Institute's podcast for change. Here is our host, Omari Jahi Aton.
All right, y'all. Welcome to the Transformation Institute podcast for change. I'm your host, Omari Jahi, and tonight's episode will cover an interesting subject: rage, the silent killer. Kim and I was just discussing before we went live. Y'all remember the Hulk? When he was like, "You wouldn't like me when I get angry." Man, that's what rage is. When David Banner turns into the Hulk.
Remember, it was no stopping him.
Right. I mean, it was like he went
destruction.
No, what's the word they use now? Is it snap? No.
Crash out.
Crash out. That's it. He crashed out. I guess maybe that's the word we should have used. Hey, what's going on, V?
Man, that much chilling.
Man, that's probably what we should have called it.
Crashing out.
When people crash out. Because that's definitely what's going on. Hey, what's going on, Damo? That's my niece. She chiming in. All right. But yeah, so we're talking about tonight. We're talking about rage. And there's a big difference. Hey, what's going on, Vanessa?
Hello.
It's a big difference between being angry and rage. People can piss you off. Like I've said this many times before. I used to have road rage. I didn't say road anger. Road rage. I mean, I'd be like they say, crashing out. I'd be zooming, don't want nobody to get in front of you and all that crap. But what do you all think is causing? Because I mean, people got angry. People used to be angry, but there was no rage. Where does this rage stuff come from? What do you all think about that?
For me, I would say rage comes when you tell someone something and they constantly doing what you told them not to do. When they don't listen to you, when they don't value what you're telling them, they don't value how you feel, your thoughts, or anything. They just poking you, and you tell them to stop, and they don't stop. So it's like when I'm constantly telling you something and you constantly ignoring me, that's telling me, hey, you don't value what I have to say or how I feel. So that's when the rage comes in, because you hold in so much for so long, and they constantly picking at you.
Well, I mean, people were getting picked at. I mean, even if you go back to slavery, we was being straight up dog walked, dog out. Rage. I think rage. Well, I don't know. Rage is a new thing for us. I never seen this thing in I'm speaking of black people now.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen this thing in black people more so like I'm seeing it now. Just like black people didn't used to catch cancer like we are now. We didn't used to have high blood pressure like we do now. We didn't used to have diabetes like we do now. I'm just wondering, like, why all of a sudden we having all of this stuff that we used to didn't have. I mean, what are we doing different now that we didn't do then?
We have the freedoms that we didn't have then. We have the freedoms to be upset. We have the freedoms to express how we feel now. We didn't have that back then. If you're talking about slavery days and in the Jim Crow days, they didn't have that option to voice their anger and voice their concerns.
That's a good point, Kim. You just made me see something when you said that, because I guess before we didn't have the freedom to express ourselves like we wanted to. We were suppressing it. I think
because we were fighting for freedom.
Yeah, rage is unreleased anger that was constantly building. So if you constantly suppressing it and suppressing it and suppressing it, it's like a volcano. Then it eventually explodes, right?
And
Mm-hmm.
once it explodes, you can't stop the lava from flowing. You just gotta wait.
So what do we do
Yeah,
about it?
yeah.
And
Is
that's
this
what I would like to know. How do you control the rage once it's out? That's the question. How you control it.
well? I guess maybe I should ask this question. Um, when we get angry, you know, like most, or maybe I'll use this example. When a man cheats on a woman and she's she's hurt because of that situation that went down, I'm sure anger is present. She's angry about that situation. And
Mm-hmm.
the main thing she probably want to know, y'all help me out and correct me if I'm wrong. The main thing she wants to know is why. Why did you do that, right?
Yep.
So I guess the thing is when something happens and say you suppressing things or whatever, the thing that's gonna solve that problem the most is understanding why. Why did this fool cut me off in traffic? I don't know. I can't pull him over and ask him. You see what I'm saying? So all I do is respond. Now, most of the times, usually, like with me, it usually happens in three. And I know I ain't a slow driver. I don't drive like Miss Daisy. You see what I'm saying? But it seems like people be trying you, like you were saying, Kim. They be trying you like my car faster than your car. They try to shoot up in front of you and all that crap. And after a couple of times, you be like, oh, hell no. So, but if my understanding of situation, especially dealing with time and place, if it's early in the morning, these people could be late for work. And
More
they
than likely they are.
I mean, what I'm saying is it doesn't make what they're doing right, but I understand it. I understand why they shooting in front of me because they late and they trying to get there because they don't want to get fired.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? So if I use that understanding, I say, okay, I understand what it is. Now, road rage, I'm not going to be affected by it. I'm not going to get angry. Why? Because I understand. If if that woman understood why this man cheated on her and this, that, and other, she got a understanding as to why she not as angry as much as she was when she didn't know. And she was constantly assuming what it could have been. Does that make sense? I'm just asking. I'm just brainstorming here. I'm thinking understanding is the solution to rage. I mean, because there's so much of it going on. I
It
mean,
is.
I don't know.
It's getting out of hand. And again, it's a time that we're in. Everybody's just upset. It's a lot of confusion. It's just it's not a happy place for a lot
Right.
of people right now. And any little thing can trigger a person, and that trigger will release everything that they've been holding inside of them.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know. I was thinking about what you had said first about the other diseases that you did not see among our culture.
mm-hmm.
And you seeing it now, like uh, could it be our diet, what we actually feed in that beast within us? And also when you said about you didn't realize all this when like from slavery time, but we was like chastised a way that you could been angry, upset, totally disagree with your parents, but you couldn't lash out like you wanted to. So you had to find another way to deal with your emotions. So I think the rage is coming from we're not finding a way to, I guess, emotional intelligence or finding a way to express ourselves, found an outlet. What do we do when all this pressure of life itself is on you? Are you kickboxing? Are you playing board games. What are you doing to? I think when you're coming up, back in my time, you're coming up and you can had a lot of pressure on you from your environment, your household, whatever. But you got outside, you hoot a hoop, you jump rope, you played basketball, you did something to take that
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. I hear where you're coming from, and that is true. So basically what you're saying is have some avenue of releasing that energy.
yeah.
You know, other than throwing somebody down a flight of stairs or
Woo,
holding.
the pleasure. The pleasure. You
It's
put back
rage
down the
is like
stairs.
escalated anger, like it's just anger at a higher level. So if when we angry, if we could find a way to express it or let it out, let that energy out before we get to that point of rage, because that silent anger and rage we all know is going to cause stroke, health issues, and all kinds of things if we
Jail
don't address.
time.
That's just where I was about to go.
Mhm.
You know, do you all remember? I don't know if it was just in a movie. I think I seen a movie or TV series or something. You know, where they had this room and they had all kind of glass and stuff that you could bottles, and they gave you a bat and you
Oh,
would
yeah,
just
it's
go
called a rage room. A rage room.
something. Yeah, I didn't know what it was called, but I remember seeing it. And you just go in there and you just tear up
Smash.
some stuff. Yeah, with the
And
bat.
they have those. And I want to go to one too.
I'm sure you do, Kim.
I do. Give me a bat and just smash.
But yeah, I mean, but if you think about it, if you suppress, because we don't really know that much about this human body, you know, but if you're suppressing your emotions, if you get angry and you don't do nothing about it, there's no release mechanism in place, like you were saying, whether boxing, that was another thing. You go to the gym and you get in the
Box it out.
ring and just box it out. You know, guys back in the day, we used to do slap boxing. That used to be a thing with guys. You know,
Females too.
females used to slap box. Oh.
It's still a thing.
Well, okay, but that was a thing too. You see what I'm saying? And then whoever won, you got slapped out. You know, you just got to walk it off. You know, get faster next time or whatever. But I'm saying that holding this stuff in can be healthy. We called it the silent killer. Maybe that's why we got high blood pressure. You know, because we hold, and then stress is another thing. They already tell you that stress is part of high blood pressure and all of that stuff, right? Being
Mm-hmm.
stressed out on your job, stressed out at home, stress, anger, rage, all that stuff. You know, it's I think it accompanies these diseases that we have now. You know, that we didn't have. You know,
The sole cause of it.
yes. You know, and so I'm still thinking that we have to learn how to curb that anger through understanding. Now, how can we do that though? How can we gain understanding? Well, let me ask you all some questions. What pisses you off? I know
To the point of rage, or
long
just
list.
pisses
Thank
you
you.
off. Period.
What'd you say, Kim?
I
I
said to
know
the
people
point
not
of
saying good
rage,
morning. I know people not saying good morning is something that pisses
or it
Kim
just
off.
pisses you off. Because it's not pisses you off. That don't mean that you at the point of rage. I mean,
Right.
rage is like you beyond the brinks.
Yes.
So you gotta. So I guess it depends on what pisses you off on a daily basis. But when you at the point of rage, there's no coming back from that. You gone.
Well, I don't think people stay at a rage. I think when you're raging, it burns out at some point. You know,
0 to
almost
100. Yeah,
When
the
you crashed
100.
out. When you
it
crashed
burns
out,
out.
that's what
Yeah,
you.
it
That's
burns
what
out
this.
at some point. But what I'm saying is that nobody gets into a situation where they're raging and they just like that for the rest of their life.
No, that builds rage is built up. Something that's
Right.
been building up for over
And then
years, over time.
you let it out, and after it's out, you cool. But you might have destroyed all kind of stuff in the aftermath of it. All kind of stuff is burnt
And
down.
in the aftermath, guess what? You're not sorry. You're like, oh well.
I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
thinking about what you had said about slavery. I don't know why I can't get that out of my head. Like slavery is just you just planted a seed, and I'm thinking about the movie Roots.
Look, let's bring
Mhm.
up the rage. Let's bring up the rage in it.
But think about though when he just said about understanding. So imagine the scene at Roots, a slave been beaten, somebody been sexual assaulted, and everybody know in the community what happened. Everybody know that she been raped, he been beaten, and they understood what each other was going through. And through all of that slavery and abuse, mistreated, hung, whipping, and everything, they still found time to dance. They still found time to celebrate.
Rejoice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like they found a way to escape their situation. So for us, I think we'd be selfish to say that our time is so hard or our time is more stressful than slavery time. I just think they dealt with it a little different than what we dealing with it. And I think what you just said about understanding, like, do you understand? I mean, do you understand what the other person's going through? Do you have any idea why? That why and that understanding. And if you did have any understanding, know that the slave master was going over there and they was whooping, would you have a little more compassion? Would you be a little more humble if you knew why and the understanding?
That they enslaved the black people.
Well, I'm saying to look at it as
Why they
far as
beat
back
and raped
slavery
us?
time into now. Do you feel like if you knew why that person was being so bitter, if you knew why that person was so frustrated, so angry, so nasty, would it make a difference on how you respond to they action
I
if you knew
believe
the
it
why?
would. I believe it would
Mhm.
if
Makes
you
sense.
No.
understood why. There's some people in our family, and we be like, you know, he got issues, she got issues. We don't never say what those issues are, but everybody know they got them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we give them a pass. You know, oh yeah, yo, that's so and so. They that you just got to look past them. They all right. And so if you understand that, in contrast to a person that comes to an event of yours and don't even know that person, you know, now how is that person gonna respond to them? If they just doing all kind of crazy stuff, getting in your face, and I mean, y'all see where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
When you understand what you're dealing with, your the possibility of you getting angry or outraged by it is very minimal. Because you know what you're looking at, you know what you're dealing with. It's almost like now it's even how black people are with the police. We don't like the police, but there was a time where we were outraged by the police. If the police came in our community, it was like wartime. You know what I'm saying? We ready to fight. But now we know what we dealing with when we deal with the police, and we ain't we ain't outraged about it because we know what we dealing with.
Some
If
people are though. Some people are. Some
All right,
people will fight the police. Some people still enraged because they don't like the police. So I
right.
guess it depends on the scenario too. Because when you say if you understand the whys, so if you know somebody constantly bothering you, constantly picking at you, you gotta understand why they doing that.
Well, you want to understand. That's the thing. See, most of the time you can get angry and even, like you say, crash out because you don't understand why this is happening. You know,
But for that person to constantly attack you and do whatever they are doing to you because they know it's a trigger, and you know they know this is a trigger, but they do it anyway. You supposed to get them a pass? because you know this is what they do.
No,
No.
I think people like that you shouldn't even associate with. You
And you
shouldn't
try
even be
not
I
to.
around
stay
those
away
kind of
from,
people.
You
I
try
stay
not
away
to.
from them.
That's right. You're right because they gon' they
Because
gon' they
people
gonna
so
trigger
tough.
you. Eventually, you're gonna crash out and you're gonna do something you really don't want to do. So I'm gonna stay over
Mhm.
here. You stay over there. I ain't even gonna be in the same
Okay,
events
with
with you.
that in the mindset, and guess what? They find their way back over to you,
No, they can't find it. No, no.
poking you.
You see, you talking about being in the same room with them. I'm saying I'm not even gonna be in the same vicinity. If they on the west side, I'm on the south side. If they at so and so birthday party, I ain't going to so and so birthday party. And if so and so asks me why I ain't going to this party, because you invited so and so.
And then they be like, don't let this person stop your happiness. Don't let this
Right.
person stop your, you being sociable. How do you handle that?
I don't think that's realistic, Tyrone.
What do you
That's what
mean?
I'm saying.
Because it's not going to be a time that you can always avoid people. So just like you said, if I'm on the west side, then you're going to be on the south side. Well, sometimes there's going to be some occasions where you have to get together, or that person is going to be in the midst of you. I think what we don't do is focus on trying to learn how to control our anger so we don't get to the point of being enraged where we may act out on things. Like Kim was saying, sometimes you're in a situation where it's the poke and bear. We don't always like to admit it, but sometimes we know that these people are around. We kind of know what they're going to be up to, but you try and you try and you try to avoid it, and sometimes it's unavoidable. When we are angry with someone or have been dealt with some issues, sometimes it's almost impossible rather, that there won't be a time where it becomes a confrontation. It's like if you keep avoiding it, the moment where you two by chance are in the same area or situation or whatever, then them speaking to you might set you off. Anything can set you off if you're trying to avoid someone for so long. So I just think it's almost impossible. What we have to learn how to do is start dealing with our emotions and our anger. I it's like when we talk about some of this stuff, it hits me because I had to do anger management before, and
You be wilding
yeah,
out now.
You crashing
so
out.
I kind of understand this, but like I said, sometimes it's like, okay, I'm gonna try to sit here and mind my business. I'm gonna be as calm as I can, but I'm going to try my best. Now, it's up to everyone in a situation. If it's multiple people involved, it's up to everyone. Like I said, we all lose it at some point, sometimes based on whatever we're dealing with. And if we learn how to control us, well, we can't control the other people. We can only control ourselves. And if I can avoid the person, I will try to avoid it, but I don't think it's a possibility that I'll always be able to avoid people in those situations. Then what I have to do is focus on how I'm going to act or interact when that person is around, how I'm going to avoid any confrontation with that person if possible. Because, usually when we're angry and we lash out at people, most people around us that don't understand why we feel the way we feel, they're looking at us only to judge us by our actions. And like I said, we can't control everyone. We can only control ourselves. So we just have to work on ourselves. And once you kind of get where you can control yourself, then you could try to talk to other people when you see that they may be spazzing out or they're having a bad day and they're trying to look like maybe explode or something. But it all starts at home with self.
Yeah, I can see that, but I mean, but if you really think about it, now I know people. See, now, well, maybe I should do it like this. I used to be the kind of person that judged people. Remember, I told y'all I was arrogant, but then people kept saying I was arrogant and everything, but I said I was just confident.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so when you're an arrogant person, you kind of think that how you see things is better than the way other people see things. And so if you coming across arrogant, if you coming across cocky, if you coming across conceited, all of these things draw negativity. You see what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that draws negativity. When I was arrogant, and I didn't know I was arrogant. I think I was just confident. But my thing is people couldn't tell me nothing, because I know best. I'm trying to tell you. You see what I'm saying? And then so people might say, oh, this MF think he know this and he think he know that. And so now they look for opportunities to prove you wrong in every kind of given situation. And this is where you get these people that keep picking on you. You don't know why they picking on you, but they picking on you. I'm not saying you, Vanessa. I'm just speaking in general. They picking on you because you think you know every damn thing. You think you got the answer to everything. Whenever we having a discussion, here you come with the answer, like everybody's supposed to accept your answer, as the answer and things of that nature. And so now people, they just wait for opportunities to prove that you don't know what the hell you talking about, or try to throw you under the bus in some situation. See, we create these problems for ourselves because we have these little things that we got going on that we've redefined. Like I redefined arrogance as being just highly confident. I'm just a very confident guy, But in all actuality, I'm arrogant as hell, and I was pissing people off. And so now they targeting my butt. Every time I'm around, they got something to say about something I said. And I'm wondering, like, what the hell wrong with it?
But the target did not change, did it? The target, you still target. You grew somehow. You grown to recognize. But
I listened to some people and I started thinking about it.
But and you start changing and growing.
And I changed, right? And once I changed, when I have conversations with people now, I don't talk like what I say is the overall answer for everything, and y'all dumb as hell if y'all ain't listening to what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying?
She said something about self-control. I mean, at the end of the day,
if we could control ourselves, we'd be done did it by now, don't you think?
No, I think that we all still is growing. Nobody, every day we growing.
Right.
So when she's saying taking accountability, it's like I've never been good with words. I'm good with my hands, and I don't use my hands as often like I used to, because I'm grown a little. Do I still got a lot of growing to do? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I got to start taking some accountability. I got to start putting up some boundaries. I got to start trying to figure out the whys and understand. I got to calm myself down when I'm angry and I'm going to that rage. Stop going from 0 to 100. Try to get to, don't try to go over 50. I go to 0 to 100 real quick. But I had to actually grow a little to recognize that it was a problem. And the problem was how I respond to people, not what people was doing, was how I respond. Mm-hmm. So we have to still, what I believe what she said about you can't control the world, but you control how you respond to it. And while we was talking, my big old Rockwell just sat up or down and said, like this. And I just thought about when you were saying all the other diseases, when we don't pay attention to what we eat and put in our system, what we feed in that beast. So at the end of the day, we acting like animals. Yeah. We eating animals.
That's true. Amen. Yes. But I mean, the bottom line still is when we say control ourselves, to me, that's like when you got a problem and you take it to the preacher and he says, just take it to God. That's not an answer. You understand what I'm saying?
Some work with the faith. It's still you trying to do the best you can. You can't say you're going to get it right all the time or
Mhm.
every situation, but you're trying your best to grow. You're trying your best. You're not just gonna sit up there and say, I'm gonna go pray and give it to the pastor and I ain't gonna do no work myself.
Exactly.
Right.
And you also can't, there's a lot of people in jail right now for killing people. But they was trying. They was doing the best they could. You see what I'm saying? But that MF pissed me off. And I took a bat to his damn head. I blacked out. Or like they say,
That's
I
that
crashed out.
rage. That's that rage.
Yeah, I crashed out. And when I came to, his head was like a watermelon. He was laying on the ground. Now I'm in jail.
Yeah.
Doing life for murder. You see what I'm saying? The work has to be, it can't just be a thing that we do for a week. You know how we do stuff. We come across something new. Oh yeah, we got to, we have to work on self. Now I ain't talking about that self-love stuff y'all be talking about. I'm talking about self-maintenance. I ain't talking about that mess. I'm talking about maintaining yourself. Maintenance. I got to work on myself. So what do I have to do? I got to actually identify how effed up I am. I lie a lot. Okay, put that down. I get angry real fast. I have a temper problem. Write that down. I cuss. Two words can't come out my mouth without a cuss word being connected to it. Write that down. You see what I'm saying? And then you when you get all your lists, and then you go to work. You see, that's first on the list. Stop lying. That's how I did it. And lying was at the top of my list. But the problem is that we are extremists. I don't know if you all are, but I know I am. I'm an extremist. So when I decided I wasn't gonna lie no more, I was telling the truth, and I didn't care who it hurt. Hey, what do you think about my new hairdo? Oh, you look like you got a mop on your head. It's the truth. You see what I'm saying? To the extreme. So my point is, this is how we work on ourselves. You can't just say, I'm working on it. You ain't made a list of your problems, nothing. We haven't even identified what I, or even asked somebody else even. Hey, if you was to create a list of bad habits that I have, what would you say that or bad characteristics that I have? What would you say is my bad characteristics? And let people tell you about yourself without cussing them out. Oh, you think I'm a lying MF? I remember when you lied and I covered it up. You see what I'm saying? No, we can't do that. We have to be able. This is the work on ourselves, I believe, that we need to be doing. But who's really going to do that?
If they want to change, they will.
If you don't want to be in prison, you will.
And it's an everyday thing. It's a everyday journey.
Yeah.
Every day. You got to get up every single day, and you got to, set your intentions and work on yourself, and, tell yourself, hey, whatever it is you want to change, that's, every day. You can't just do it a week and then, forget about it, because you go right to them back to them bad habits like it's nothing.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? So it's an everyday thing, man. This journey thing is till you die.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Till you die. Yeah. Now, if you were able to figure it out before then, that's a beautiful thing. But hey, it's an everyday thing, all day.
Most definitely, yeah. But how many people really know how effed up we are? I mean, do we really look at ourselves like that? Most of the times when we look at ourselves, we're looking for our good qualities. Well, I'm a kind person. I'm a giving person. I'm a loving person. I'm a this. I'm a that. We're always looking for the good stuff. Don't nobody never want to make a list of all of the bad personalities and characteristics that they have. And that people will tell you, they say, damn, you stingy as hell. You've heard people, heard people say that about other people. You stingy. Damn.
Selfish.
Right, selfish. These are things that we need to work on, because if a person sees you as being stingy and selfish, and then if you come across as a Mr. or Mrs. Know-it-all, then you put a target on your back. People are gunning for you now, because you think you know better than anybody else. Wait a minute, what is this? There is not a concrete one method way to work on ourselves. No, I'm not saying that it is a concrete. Oh, that's Brenda, ain't it? Brenda, man, be quiet. No, I'm not I'm not saying that there is a concrete method on working on ourselves. I'm just saying that is a method. If we talking about we got to work on ourselves in order to curb that anger or curb that rage or whatever. How are we gonna? I mean, we can't just say we need to work on it and don't have no plan on how you're gonna do it. What I'm saying is not concrete, but it is a method. It's a way. Now, if somebody got another way, Brenda, if you got another method, then type it on in, Brenda. Let us know what your method is. Take it to Jesus, right? I know I shouldn't have said that. Oh, here she goes. Okay, Brenda.
Brenda
need to
said
work.
you need to work on the way you talk to Brenda.
She about to bring out the rage.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? You see how I put a target on my back? And she came for me.
Because you poking her. You poking her.
Right. But this is what
you
I'm
actually
saying.
came for her first. You were poking her like Kim said.
But this is what I'm saying. I didn't feel like I was coming for her. I didn't feel like that's what I was doing. But now I can sit here and be like, well, why is she coming at me? I didn't do nothing to her. Because we can't see ourselves.
Right.
We see what other people do quicker and faster than we can see what we do. That's why you need a good friend and a good friend that's going to tell you the truth. That's going to be around, that was F up what you just did.
Well, let me tell you what you just did. When she said what she said, you said, Brenda.
I didn't know that was Brenda at first. I didn't know that was No, you're right. I did. But you know what? Me and Brenda have a different kind of relationship. And y'all been knowing me and Brenda been going at each other, but we love each other. Me and Brenda love each other. But we've been going at each other for years. That's just who we are, Oh, we both clicked on it at the same time, Vanessa. What's Yolanda? Okay. That's because when someone cuts me off, I have a habit of saying B word. I ask God to forgive me, but we'll be working on that.
Yeah,
Growth.
that's real.
It is real.
She's
It's
trying.
very real.
It's real. I do that every day. Every day I'm in the car and somebody do something crazy. I'll be like, this dumb motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Something like this. But I always, I've came a long way because like you say, Chad, like but that come to that stuff, road rage and stuff, man, it was a serious thing. I hunk and do all that, you know what I'm saying? And just not realizing like, damn, as I guess we get more experience, you realize like, damn, now why am I so mad and hunking at this person or cursing this person out? And this person could just, shoot me right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's over something just that crazy. And it's like, why? And I had to check myself. Why am I getting angry about something dumb they doing? Even though it might be dumb and they might could cause you harm on accident or something because they doing something stupid on the road, but it's just like learning how to control and be just more aware and understanding like, hey, don't let your anger get you hurt out here or don't end up hurting somebody out here.
Yep. And see the way that I overcame it is I started thinking of the solution. Oh, well, no, they're running late. It ain't that they're saying I'm driving slow and that I need to get out the way. What it is, well, really, they are saying that I'm driving slower than what they need me to
Get out
drive.
the way. Like, bitch, whoa, get out the way.
Kim, I was thinking that when he said that in my head.
See, both of y'all got issues.
Right, we both need anger management.
But I mean, but now, if we say that we need anger management,
I do.
are we just going to accept that and just keep on until somebody kills us?
No.
You see what I'm saying? Or we kill somebody?
Eventually, you're going to sit up there and do like you said you did. One day, you're going to sit up there and hear yourself and say, oh, I need to look at myself. Let me evaluate myself. What can I make some changes? I mean, at some point, you keep on doing something, the same thing, keep on getting the same result. You eventually is going to look yourself in the mirror, or you're going to eventually change who you're around. You're going to make some kind of change. Because you don't want to be trigger happy. You don't want to punch them. You don't. I mean, you don't want to be. I think we all got to grow. Oh, we still ain't. Everybody ain't gonna stay at 3:15. Wait till 3:15 after school. I'm gonna beat you. Eventually, gonna have to grow up and grow out of it.
Yeah.
And you don't want to go to jail because and all these carries concealed. If you don't get no control, gonna be a lot of.
You know what?
Happy people out. You know you got to.
Darlene, I said that about conceal and carry too. I was scared as hell when my nephew got a gun. You know, a conceal and carry license, and some he all right. He a smart boy, but he ain't all the way there. You see what I'm saying? So I'm like, this boy gonna kill somebody if they sneeze at him the wrong way. He gonna pull his gun out and just shoot him. You know, but he done had it for like 3 years now, no problem. He ain't never had to use it or nothing. You know, and so. But when that concealed carry stuff came out, I was really concerned because, you know, people can just, like I said, out of rage, just pull that bad boy out and just start going to town on people.
We've seen that. We have seen it just recently at Brown University.
Yeah.
So it's like, what do you do when you're the innocent, Darlene? When you stand how we need to redirect, work on us. But when you're the innocent being picked on, you're the innocent that's being bullied and you can't take it no more. What do you do?
I get you. I don't have the answer of what you do every time. I just know that good and evil exist at the same time. And we're not living no perfect world, and we just could do the best we can to avoid. And it gets times where I understand that you ain't gonna always be able to put the fire out. You ain't gonna always be able to say every day I'm gonna walk away, but every day you're gonna just try. You just do the best you can. I mean, but we don't live in no perfect world, so we can't expect that people is not gonna have adult tantrum and child tantrum, or people get angry, people explode, people hold things in and feel sorry, and then the person they was holding, somebody else may have been the one that did it to you, and you're gonna explode on someone else, But it's life. To me, it ain't no perfect answer. It ain't no perfect world. It's just try. Just try to be a better person than you was yesterday. That's all I ask, out of myself. Right. I'm not the same person I used to be. Did I go from grammar to college? No, I'm still in like 5th grade. But I'm growing. I'm not gonna stand still and expect everything around me to change, but I don't want to change.
But did somebody have to bring that to your attention?
Yeah.
The thing that you're trying to change, somebody, whether it was your mom, your daughter, your husband, whatever, somebody came to you and said, Darlene, you seem to have an attitude with me. Like my wife say this all the time to me. You seem like you treat other people better than you treat me. And I'm scratching my head. I'm like, where you getting that from?
That's the dangerous part to me, as far as when you start allowing everyone to define you. So to me, the biggest growth came when I look at myself in the mirror, not what my mom, my mom say things or my kids say things or spouse and whatever, but they played a role. But it's only when I define the truth to me, when I stop lying to myself, because somebody else's point of view of you may not be true. Everybody, it's okay. They might say, hey, you're very thuggish. Okay, but I could use that thuggish, I could turn it to something good. But the way people would define you is not necessarily as valid as you defining you. When you start seeing when you say like you were lying, you thought it was confidence and it was arrogant. You had to take a look at yourself. You check you. I think I define me better than anybody else when I stop lying to myself and I actually looks in the mirror and realize I don't know nothing. Every day, I'm student. Every day, I'm trying to get this together. Every day, yesterday I thought I had got it, and then today I realized I ain't got nothing. Try it again. Try it again.
Because V, I know you. I've been seeing a lot of your posts, man.
He good.
And he be having some inspiration, man. He be having some inspirational stuff up the butt. He be sharing.
What was your thing about change recently?
Yeah.
I mean, where do you get your ideas for that? For those messages and things you be giving?
They just come to me. Mainly in the morning. I just like kind of wake up, and then as I'm like getting the day together and going over, I talk to God every morning. So when I get up, I talk to God all day. I talk to God definitely in the morning when I get up, and I just get these, it just kind of comes to my mind. It comes to my head what to say, and I just kind of go with it. You know what I mean? And just jump on the
line,
the phone or whatever, and just record it, and just really speak from the heart and say what's on my mind.
Where can people check you out, V? Yolanda's asking, what's your page?
Man, I TikTok page. I'm Cam Coastal. That's KAMCOASTAL.
Okay, for the people who don't have TikTok.
I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. That's the same. It's the same address.
Don't have
Instagram.
Facebook.
Yep. Facebook. I'm right directly under my name, Vmont Brogsdale.
Okay.
That's VIMONT BROGSDALE.
Yeah, man. Because I want people to check you out, man. You be having some deep stuff, man. You be saying.
Yeah, it's KAM
since you have
Coastal.
such deep thought, give us something good about our topic today. This rage. Speak some word to us.
The rage topic. Well, pretty much like what y'all been saying. What stuck out to me kind of earlier, what Darlene was saying when she went back to how he was talking about when Ty brought up slavery. And Darlene was saying, how they were able to deal with that. They still found time, even going through all that they've been through. And I guess how they may have dealt with their rage, they found time to still celebrate, time to still,
to dance,
get with each other and stuff, and dance and celebrate and stuff like that. And I think the thing that stuck out to me about that was they had people, they had a community, they had each other. They had somebody to deal with things with.
Right.
And I think that's some of the problem today. I think a lot of us don't have people to help us deal with these things with rage and stuff like that. And the world is designed this way. And it's been going on this way for millennia now. It's designed this way. The world is made into a way where everybody's so busy. Keep them busy, keep them busy, keep them busy. And we dealing with things every day, and we have no outlet to deal with them. We don't have anything constructive to do. And if we do have something constructive to do, and if we think about something constructive to do, now we struggling with trying to find the time to do it because we're working. This going on, that's going on. and nobody's finding the time to deal with the unreleased anger and the things and the frustrations.
Frustration.
And like I was saying earlier, we don't have nobody to deal with it with. We can't really go to certain people. You know, we want to go to our parents. We want to go to, you know, if they're around, you know, we want to go to our, you know, certain people, maybe our mates, you know, if they trying to hear it. You know, a lot of times you go to people with things and you really can't talk to them about it because they don't want to hear it, because it's like, well, man, hey, it's the world, man. You know, get tough with it, or you know,
Suck it
be
up.
strong with it, right?
Mhm.
It's those type of things, man. So that's my thing on the whole rage thing, and that's what kind of stuck out to me. I just think this happens because we don't have an outlet. I mean, we could think of an outlet, but we just don't really have a way to deal with it. We need help, and we afraid to ask for help a lot of times, and a lot of times we don't really have anyone to go to,
Right.
you know,
That we
because
trust.
like, you know, therapy and stuff, that stuff costs money. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And you don't always have the money to go seek a therapist and stuff like that. So I guess the best thing you can really do is, you know, try to find a way, like I always tell people, meditate, exercise, just find some way to deal with that. You know what I mean? Because it's dealing with us, and it's deal with us every single day. You know what I'm saying? That's why the jail's gonna continue to get fuller. The graveyard's gonna continue to get fuller
And
because we're not finding a way.
I just left the funeral, um, and it was really at the cemetery, and I'm stuck because I hear a young man, and I say, "You okay?" And he's like, "No, I'm not." And everybody just kept on moving, just kept on moving. And then you look at the age gap. The elderly is 66 years old, and then the young man, I believe, is 37. There, there's no one to fill in that gap, to no man to come up and say it's going to be okay or we'll get through this. It was just watching everybody try to grieve, try to deal with their emotions all by themselves. It was like watching a movie where nobody's trying to fill in the gaps anymore. No one is um,
Mm-hmm.
trying to show that old family structure. Like, even
Mhm.
if you ain't got nothing to do with saying some, just it was like everyone was just dealing with it on their own.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Yep.
really sad, and that's where we are. That's kind of like what V was saying. That's where we are
Yep.
as a people now. You know, where we're whatever we going through, you got to go through it on your own, and social media ain't no outlet for it because the damn people on social media crazy as hell. You know, they'll tell you all kind of crazy stuff to do.
Lies.
Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, so it's like you said, V, you on your own. You out here doing this stuff all by yourself. A Bam
Yep.
said, she said somebody used to be family you could go to. You know, you can go to
Mhm.
your grandmama, your mama, or whatever, or your dad. You can go to him and say, "Man, my friend just got killed, and this and that and another." You know, and usually, you know, the elder would give you a story. You know, I remember when I was your age and such this happened to me, and you know, they try to, so now it don't feel like you going through this by yourself. You know that somebody else has experienced this, but we don't, like you saying, Darlene, we don't do that anymore. You know, we just, everybody just on your own. You know, we might say, "Hey, you okay?"
Mm-hmm.
And then a person say, "No, I'm not okay." It's like,
And
well,
Yep.
God bless you and move on.
Right.
You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Like you said earlier, take it to God.
right. You know, you're
That's
gonna be
like
all
pretty
right.
much anybody can say to you, like, yo,
Right.
just pray about it. And it's like, well, I've been praying about it. I've been praying about it for years. You understand what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
it's, man, it just takes a toll. But it's like, you know, what can we do? But that's why it's important. I like what we doing now, like with this podcast
Yeah.
and it, go on the internet and share your messages. That's what inspired me to do it, because I know there's people out there that need something, you know what
Hmm.
I'm saying, amongst, you know, what's going on. So if they can find me and see me, and hear me, and if I could just give them something that sparked their mind to say, hey, you know, let me try to change this, or let me reach out to somebody or anything, then I felt like, okay, that's God's work. That's a good thing.
Most definitely. Anybody else have any closing thoughts? Because our time is running down. We got about 5 minutes left. Anybody else have a closing thought on this topic? Vanessa, what you think?
I think that we should just try to work on our if we know we have anger issues, try to work on them so they don't turn into rage, so we won't be looking at possible time or bad situations based on our bad actions. That's it for me.
Okay. Well, I'd like to thank Kim, did you want to say something? I know I kind of basically gave my little synopsis. Did you want to close out with anything? You good?
Just basically piggyback what everyone has said, especially Darlene. Let's find an outlet for our rage when we get to that point. Sometimes you can't walk away. Most of the time, say your last words and then try to take yourself out of that scenario. But if we can find a way to redirect the rage, maybe do a rage room or get together with some friends and just hash it out. They might not want to listen, but as long as you can talk about it, get off your chest, that'll be good. So let's look at some different avenues.
You know, they got these little punching bags. You can get them at the sporting goods store. Get you
And
some.
that's why you do like this.
No, I ain't talking about that.
Like this.
I'm talking about it's a big round one, and they got it on. It sits on the ground. It stands up. You know, it's round, and you can get your gloves and just hit it. You know, and that's not only just exercise, but it's also exercising that demon in us. You know, when that rage come out, you know, all we got to do, you know, even if you visualize the person that pissed you off, you know, that's redirecting that energy. You see what I'm saying? Instead of going to bust them upside the head, use that punching bag. You know?
Yeah, it's important. It's important to move around, move that energy around. Definitely.
Yes, moving that energy. You know. All right, you guys. I thank you all for being here. I thank you all for your input. You know, everything that we've said tonight. You know, I believe, like you were saying, V. You know, it's gonna help somebody. Somebody heard what we said tonight. Even if it comes to the point where they heard, maybe I should just make a list of things that people said about me that's not good, that I might need to change. If it's that, you know, or using the punching bag instead of going against that person's head, you know, or something, or putting your fist through the wall, you know, even if it's that, I think we on a path then of making a change. So I thank everybody that made a comment. I see we got who is this? This is I see Brenda. Carl. Oh, that's Carl. Hey Carl, what's going on, bro? Yolanda. Who else was on here? Yeah, that's Brenda again. I guess we just had Brenda, Carl, Yolanda, Dominique, my niece, and that was it. Well, for those of you that were on that I didn't call your name, it's because you didn't make a comment. So I don't know if you're on unless you make a comment. So thank you for being on, because I know we had about 5 or 6 people that was watching, different people. So I thank them for being on. I thank you guys for being here. And until next week, when we have another interesting conversation about another interesting topic, we thank you. And until next week, we out of here, y'all.
Bye.
Peace and hair grease.
Thanks for supporting our podcast. We look forward to see you next Thursday at 8 p.m. We also ask that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. The more subscribers we have, the more YouTube will push our podcast to more viewers. But until then, subscribe also for a peaceful mind. Your activity will reflect that peace.